Cobbler here.
It's time for Inside the Gamecocks, the show with Phil Mullinax and J.C. Sherbert.
So, how many of you would say you speak English fairly well, but with some difficulty?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
You play to win the game.
Now, let's take it away, J.C. and Phil.
It's Inside the Gamecocks, the show. J.C. Sherbert, Phil Mullinax, and Sawyer Nix with the mental edge coming in hot.
Morning.
Lots of recruiting talk today. The Nana Sports chat box already has some interesting pieces of information in it. I want to say that to Joey about good news. I'm packing some good news today for you guys, by the way.
Nice.
But you're going to have to wait about 15 minutes before I get there and roll that. So signing day is tomorrow, or the beginning, of the signing period. The NCAA decided to have a period at the beginning rather than the regular day. They felt the day was getting too much hype. So they just decided to trash the whole month of December and ruin everybody's Christmas. They're like the Grinch. Like, we're all chilling in Whoville, and they're up there with their sled and their dog that's a reindeer, Jim Carrey.
Max,
Max,
my cloak.
get my cloak. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, we are joined by Sawyer Nix. The Mental Edge kicks it off right today. He's fixed.
Well, first, I'd like to say thank you, Sawyer, for the lovely gift that you sent me. I got my poster, Spies Like Us. It was awesome. Thank you so much, Sawyer.
He's welcome. He's fixing his audio. He just hit me up in the private chat. So
I see that now. I thought that was from you. Yeah.
So I'll go through the Nana Sports chat box real quick. Krager says Big Tree may announce today. I think that probably will happen. 7 p.m. Lance says, "What up, killers?" So we have a chance with Big Tree. This makes me happy. Yeah, Carolina. On the inside, and I've talked about this. I didn't want to get like too. These Maryland kids can make you feel like a fool sometimes, as we all saw with Jayshon Barham last year. But the people I talked to in Carolina never felt like he was like way gone. It was just it was one of those things where they needed to kind of smooth some things over, and that was it. So, yeah, Big Tree Babalade, I don't know how to say his first name. I probably should.
Olawatosin. That's how
Olawatosin.
They just call him Tosin because I was reading some of that Maryland message board stuff that was going on last night. But, boy, they really think we've got it out for them.
Yeah.
The Maryland people. Yeah, I don't
Brian Doan and Steve Wiltfong from 24/7 Sports, who both immediately flipped their crystal balls to Maryland when he decommitted, have switched it back to South Carolina. I would have always kept it on South Carolina myself, but crystal balls with us in our market, with me and Hale and Tony, sometimes we're asked really not to do it like within a certain time period, because we're just going to ruin the kids' moment. Sean says, when is everybody supposed to sign? Like times? I haven't seen Hale post anything yet. He's gathering that info. It's different times. Lance mentions the new intro. Yeah, our pre-roll has some music. It's Celtic music, like the Dowell Loggins Brew intro. He said he loves it, so we love it too. I put that together this morning because we had some new advertising slides we had to put in there, and I just felt like music would be good for the pre-roll, so it's not silent. Will says, "Let's go Gamecocks." John says, "Wow, 2 crystal balls this morning from Fong." JC, do you think we offer the wide receiver from Rock Hill who just opened his recruitment after leaving West Virginia? I don't see that happening right now. I haven't heard anything about it. I know they want to get some portal receivers in. They just got Russell. So we'll see if that happens. Now, if you're asking me, would I do it? Probably. I think that kid's pretty good. And in-state receivers tend to pan out at a pretty high rate around here. That's why, like Kylie Horton, I think Kylie Horton's going to probably end up being pretty good, at the end of the day. It may not be next year, but he'll be pretty good. Lance says, grab yourself a nice cold Loggins and enjoy the Gamecocks.
That's right.
Heck yeah. Sonder says, am I still banned? No, Sonder, if you're in the chat box, you're not banned,
right.
buddy.
Welcome back.
Welcome home, Sonder.
Welcome home.
YouTube has unbanned me. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Joey says, if we get Pringle, Josiah Thompson, and Blake Franks in the next class, it will be awesome. I think Franks is going to Clemson. The other two, Gamecocks are right there. It would not surprise me at all if we're sitting around in March talking about those two being committed to South Carolina.
Let me bring Sawyer back here because he just popped in. Can you hear
him? Back in?
He can hear us, but we cannot hear him.
We can't hear you, Sawyer.
Yay, technology.
John says it's 17 degrees with almost a foot of snow on the ground in the beautiful Pac Northwest. Ooh. It's supposed to get down to 6 here over the weekend, Christmas weekend, and 18 inches of snow. How about that? I'm going out of town. Inches. So, yeah. The fiance informed me the other day that we don't have to shovel the driveway anymore because we had a service that did it last winter, and I forgot about that. I was like, yeah, we had to go to her parents and shovel over there. But we have people that come by and do it.
Nice.
Must be nice.
The there you go. Yeah.
Payne goes, good morning, clowns. Titan says Pringle will be a huge get. Justin says the NCAA is Coach Boom of signing day. Signing day isn't going to be fun. It's signing day fun, no sir, zero fun, sir. Coach Fun. Talking about that. Mike isn't working for Sawyer there. The wide receiver Lovett would be a nice pickup. Oh, for Missouri? That'd be an interesting pickup because I think he's going to LSU, but that would be a huge get. One of the best in the SEC last year. Brian Doan was on with Gunner this morning. Said Big Tree would probably need a year or two, but a great prospect since we're firmly in it with him. Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think he's probably going to recommit to South Carolina. And the Gamecocks, to their credit, inside the program, they never wavered on that. Quantrell says, I would offer the Rock Hill receiver if it meant we got Sellers. Crystal ball pick again, Quantrell. In for Sellers to flip to South Carolina.
Yeah, I saw that one. So everything's leaning our way right now when it looked like, 10 days ago, everything was crap.
I've always liked Lenore Sellers, too. I never really understood why Carolina was not a little bit more. I mean, I understand he blew up his senior year and was much improved. But I think he's – me? Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, we got you.
I think he's a special player, and that's one the Gamecocks may have regretted had he gone someplace else and start. All right, the mental edge was Sawyer Nix,
like a dull edge this morning.
Ooh. Yeah, technical difficulties. That's what happens when you kind of mess the schedule. The schedule. I think there's like the schedule gods, and when you mess with the schedule gods, you do things out of order. Sometimes things get out of whack. They try to mess with you. All right. Anyway, Sawyer, I mean, we're here at Christmas holidays, and you got a lot going on in college football before, just to wrap it up before Christmas, I guess, with decisions and things like that. But during the holidays, it's sort of one of those things where, I think Thanksgiving can get awfully lonely for some people. I think Christmas can get rock bottom. So talk about, not only like how to cope if you're one of those people out there, but also maybe how to reach out in an effective manner to maybe somebody that, hey, they're spending the holidays either working or by themselves, or, they recently had a spouse die, families estranged from them. Just kind of go through all that and give everybody some nice life advice there.
Yeah, I think piggybacking kind of on the grief that we talked about before is a little bit of a continuation of that. Is this time of year is hard, and I think one of the biggest things that we can do is challenge our expectations. Again, I think it's the commercialization of Christmas and everything. It's the Hallmark movies and everything's picture perfect. Everybody's happy, and it's not necessarily realistic. Everybody plans this Martha Stewart meal, and then it comes out looking like a Christmas vacation turkey. Sometimes it's just like it collapses. So
not Phil.
Not yet.
but challenging expectations. In the last 48 hours, my wife and I have ran into that challenge. So we've done some baking and treats, and our expectations were pretty high, and that led us to going to bed at about 12:30 last night, which is way past our bedtime. And so we ran into the buzzsaw of high expectations, and we didn't plan as effectively. Now the great thing is we still love each other, and we didn't even fight. So that's the great news, right? Despite us running into this buzzsaw, but manage your expectations. Whether it's around family, whether it is if it's you're having an adjustment. Don't predict the worst. It is going to be awful. I'm not going to enjoy anything this Christmas if you've had a loss. That's not true. Some people are like, wow, I was expecting it to be bad, and actually enjoyed spending time with other family members, or being having some more freedoms, or whatever. Everybody's experience is different again, but I would say challenge those expectations as to what they are, and just be flexible and adapt as things come up. Be flexible and adapt to those, and reaching out to others. I think it's just sending them a text, calling them, dropping a card in the mail. Hey, just thinking about you. I know this is different for you this year. You've lost someone, you've moved, you're by yourself. And being able to check in with those people and connect with them, and again, deliver on promises. Don't make promises, hey, we'll hang out over the holidays, when you have no intention of doing so. Don't do that, but certainly be available and communicate when you can, and check in on people and say, hey, thinking about you. And that goes a long way.
Talking with Sawyer Nix, the mental edge. Christmas, I'm sort of a giver myself. I think when I was a kid, I was, like most kids, pretty selfish, and was just consumed with presents and what I was going to get from Santa and stuff. But I'm more of a giver now. And I think that, that's probably how most adults evolve when it comes to Christmas time. I think that it's much more about fellowship and hanging out with your fam and about the kids and stuff. But, having a giving spirit at Christmas, that is something some people, not myself, but some people probably do struggle with. So, talk about that, kind of trying to get into that mood to go give. I know I talked to somebody the other day. I don't want to buy any presents because I don't like anybody. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, what about these 5 people? I'm like, you're miserable. So talk about that, and talk about kind of getting yourself into the right mindset to enjoy Christmas from really what is an adult point of view with regards to being a giver more so than someone that shows up and drinks all the eggnog and eats all Phil's turkey and passes out on the floor and then asks for $20 to take a cab home.
Yeah. Certainly, I think that's a good point. I think when it comes to giving, think about what you're giving. I mean, I think we immediately think gifts is giving, but what about time? What about giving your ear to someone? What about giving, helping out, washing the dishes? Maybe you're not going to the store and spending $100. Maybe you spent $20 on a gift, but maybe you have the gift of, hey, I'll be patient enough. I don't care. I'll wash dishes after, or take out the trash, or, I'll deal with the little kids so that the parents can get a break. There's different gifts that we can give that's not necessarily tangible. I think it is a time of year when we do give tangible gifts, but also we give, donations to charities. Perhaps somebody gives a donation to Carolina Rise this time of year. Hey, I know Uncle so-and-so's a Gamecock fan. Instead of giving him something he's going to throw in the trash or not appreciate, I'm going to give to Carolina Rise. So we can give things other than gifts. And I think thinking about it's a time for us to share and to give something, whether it's gift or not, whether it's Christmas treats, whether it's time, whether it's conversation, whether it's patience enough to give the other person the TV remote. I think just checking that, I think that's the time where perhaps giving is just, as you mentioned, JC, checking our selfishness. And I think about certainly what Christmas is centered around. If we go back to Charlie Brown Christmas and Charlie Brown, and you have Linus and, the monologue of that's what Christmas is really about, Charlie Brown, and the thing about that's one of the reasons why I'm able to give and have joy this time of year is celebration of birth of Christ, and have that freedom, and that's sometimes spurs on my giving, because ordinarily left alone, I'm very much I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to have my needs met, and focus on myself, and certainly having kids changes that as well. So much of that, you focus on them and their needs. That I think about just the time of year and being able to reflect on those different themes. And as we, I guess, meditate's a big word, but as we ponder and think about the different things this time of year, whether it's family or friends or gifts, kind of change our mindset slowly and just manage those expectations and focus on, all right, what can I give? What does someone need that I can give this time of year?
Sawyer Nix from the Mental Edge. All right. Well, we ran out of time pretty quick there, Sawyer. I know you got an appointment. You got to go. Merry Christmas to you. This is the last time in 2022 we'll have the honor of having the Mental Edge, but we'll definitely be back. So we're going to restart on Wednesday, January 4th. So it'll be like the 10th of January next time we see you. But certainly appreciate all you do. I appreciate my Mayor McCheese poster. I'm gonna probably put that up at some point.
And I got my Spies Like Us poster, Sawyer. Thank you very much. I appreciate that as well.
That's so money it hurts. I wasn't expecting that a life size poster of Mayor McCheese. That's like the best present I've gotten 10 years.
Well, maybe it holds. Maybe it holds. I got another couple of days to.
Yeah, exactly. Sawyer, we really appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas,
appreciate
Sawyer.
y'all too. Merry Christmas, and thankful for the show, and thankful for y'all, and look forward to celebrating, and hopefully we'll have a Gamecock win to talk about over the Irish.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. Right. That's going up against the Irish, so that'll be good. All right, Sawyer Nix, the Mental Edge, joins us every Tuesday. Abbreviated segment there because of some technical issues. He has an appointment to get through to, saving some lives. Let's take a break, Phil.
All right, we'll hit
First break, and then we'll be back on the other side, inside the Gamecocks, the show.
Golfers and wannabe golfers, former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor is now a full-time golf instructor in the Midlands of South Carolina. In-person golf lessons are held at the Country Club of Lexington. Half-hour, hour, on course 9 or 18 holes. And if you're outside of South Carolina, Meredith conducts virtual lessons. Just send in your golf swing for analysis. Gift cards are available for in-person 1-hour lessons. Connect on Twitter at Mayor Taylor and find her online at McKellarEnterprises.org. Her email is on the website. Schedule your next lesson today with Meredith Taylor, former Gamecock golfer.
Gamecock Nation, do you need a place to stay for the big game? Many hotel booking engines keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you support inside the Gamecocks, still earn your hotel loyalty points, and you receive an email with direct confirmation from the hotel. Whether you are visiting Columbia to cheer on Carolina or hitting the road to follow the team, get in the stands with Fan Plans.
This is Coach O. Now back to the show. Go Tigers. In the soul.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. Is brought to you by Express Sunrooms, as always. Give John Barber a call in Columbia, 803-446-4662 to set up a no-obligation, no-charge consultation to talk about some outdoor retreat for your home. And the first hour of the show is brought to you by Cindy Searfoss and the Coldwell Banker Realty team here in the upstate. Give Cindy a call for your upstate residential real estate needs, 864-414-5271. And I see Meredith in the chat box. Just remember, she's still not giving away, but has gift certificates for free golf lessons. Or not free golf lessons. Well, you'd be giving them to somebody and it would be a present, and then therefore they would not have to pay for them. But give Mary a call or go to McKellarEnterprises.org to get that set up for a good Christmas gift for any golfers in your life.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Caddyshack. I got those Dowell Loggett shirts coming, man. I can't wait. And then we'll get some more. We'll give them away or sell them to you guys for cost or whatever. Clarence says seems like Easter is staying with Arkansas. It's not a big surprise. He's an Arkansas guy. You know, you shoot your shot, you make him think. Who knows? If you get him, that's good. If you don't get him, it just costs you the plane ticket for him to get over here. Jerry says, I'm sure it's cold considering all the global warming. I don't need to talk about that subject, right? I'll say this. I just got an email from the New York Post. No, I'm not going to talk about that. All I got to say is universities are whack job out of control. Like the academic end. So the term American calling you an American, Phil, or me an American, or whoever an American has been banned from Stanford because it's harmful. Because there's more countries in the Americas than just America. Yeah, but we have America in our name,
and none of the others do.
Yeah, so I think people are way. I think knowledge, like seeking of knowledge, ended about 10 years ago, and people are just making crap up. They're just making stuff up out of thin air.
Finding things to bitch about.
They're freaking bored. They're like me during the pandemic. People say, "Why did you go through a case of beer a day during the pandemic and watch YouTube concerts?" Because I had nothing else to do. Until I went out and discovered door dashing, and that was kind of fun for a while.
Yeah, get you out of the house,
Get out of the house. I mean, that was cool. But I think that's what's going on in colleges. Anyway, that's a different topic, different show.
I'm a Lebowski. You're a Lebowski.
Carolina Titan says if we could have secured Freeling and Knox, we'd have the top 5 prospects in South Carolina this year. Not sure they were all that fired up about Freeling. They would have taken him. They didn't want Knox. To me, Knox is a major roll the dice kind of kid. Like, he may end up being really good. He may not end up being really good. But that's what's called taking a flyer in recruiting rankings. Because, Northwestern's really the only school that really wanted him, right? So Matthew loves the segment, Sawyer Nix, the mental edge.
Right.
Krager says, I was given this weekend. I gave up my wallet.
I know,
that's right.
Awful, Greg, man. I was thinking about that the other day or late yesterday, Krager, because I misplaced mine. I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Crazy. Losing your wallet sucks.
Oh, it's the worst.
Happy says, watch Christmas Vacation on repeat. Yep. Justice says, my favorite thing is smoking a Boston butt for my family. My pa used to do a whole hog.
Oh, I like that.
Me too. I always stayed up to help him. So now Christmas on Thanksgiving, a smoked Boston butt reminds me of my childhood. That's a beautiful story, Justin. I like that.
That's awesome.
Really, seriously. Never let a Christmas go by without watching It's a Wonderful Life. Fiance had never seen that. We turned it on the other day. Of course,
really?
Why do you make me cry?
Well, yeah, we always give it an obligatory watch this time of year. My wife shows it at school before break after the end of quarter exam or end of semester exam. So and she's a history teacher, so it kind of fits.
No doubt. Like, Saunders says Peanuts Christmas is so great. I agree. I like that song. Dun, 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 dun. That always kind of gets me in the holiday spirit. I was in a horrible mood yesterday after the show. Like, I don't think I got enough sleep Sunday night. And I was like, my phone's ringing off the hook. People keep wanting to call me and ask me about Gamecocks. I'm like, dude, if I had, look, I'll put it on the website. You can check that, if I have something breaking. But, I mean, it was just terrible.
You also found yourself at a Costco yesterday. Jeez,
I forgot to mention I'd blocked that out of my mind. So we go to Costco because the oldest one likes the clothes at Costco. It's like the Spider brand stuff. And so we go, just a massive humanity. And I sent Phil a picture. I was like, here I am. And Phil's like, F that. That was his response.
Yep.
And I'm like, and then I noticed the snack bar area at Costco was like jammed. It was like one of those picnics, family reunion kind of deals where, there's like too many people for the picnic area. People were like sitting on sides. Like everybody was taking advantage of that $1.50 hot dog deal, which is delicious, by the way, and tasty. You can't beat it. You can't beat that deal. But I mean, it was terrible. And so I finally was like, man, I'm hungry. Let's go. I said, and I'm craving for some reason veal parmesan. I said, let's go to this little Italian place, eat, and then we'll reassess. And I was finally like, man, I'm just gonna shut it down today and go. I went to bed at 7:00, back up at 4, but felt great and refreshed and beautiful. So anyway, yeah, that was me yesterday. So anyway, yeah, but long story short, the Peanuts Christmas song came on. I thought it would make me feel better, and it didn't. So that's when I knew I needed to shut it down. Rick says they're spies like us. That was
They're
a great
spies
line.
like us. That's great. Mm-hmm.
Joey says, what are the chances of Todd Ellis ever coming on the show? It would be amazing to see JC's Todd talk to the real Todd, just yelling and grunting random things to each other. My understanding is Todd probably doesn't have a very good sense of humor about that stuff.
Yeah, what a shame.
Yeah.
When Caliendo gets in front of any of the guys that he does really well and just goes, back and forth with them. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Caliendo's good. I saw him in Vegas one time. Really good show.
Mm-hmm.
The Charles Barkley that he does is great. Krager says, JC, you got to stop checking email during the show. I know. I realize that. I realize that.
That's the bad thing about sitting in front of a computer screen or
yeah.
TV,
I had Twitter up for a while, but I don't have that up anymore either. Quad says, has it been asked, are we looking good for Big Tree? Yes, the Gamecocks are looking good to bring him back in the fold. So that's awesome. Lance says, imagine getting Rattler Wells back and landing Easter, Knox, Tree, and Lenore, so that at the last moment Harbor picks us. Holy Batman, Columbia would explode. Be a heck of a finish. 76 says, hi, JC. Yeah, don't talk about it, JC. People are too sensitive. Zach says, did you just assume my nationality? No. The
question, do you identify as American?
Yeah. If you're out of the country, they call us Americans. The French say, the Americans. Oh,
the Americans.
Yes, typical American. Anyway. So the poster yesterday that said Pennsylvania recruits do not pan out. Steve Tannehill says hello. JC, is there some quiet confidence? We land some good portal receivers. I was surprised they passed on the receiver from Charlotte. Yep, there is. There is. Having a hard time nailing down who exactly right now. But there's the deal. Quad. And by the way, Quadcock is our resident meme maker. Like the Satterfield.
Oh, nice. Evil, all right.
And both Dowell Loggins memes, that is the work of Quadcock.
Thank you, sir.
Perhaps I shouldn't talk about him being a teacher.
Hey, they get planning periods.
Yeah, planning period. That's what Quadcock does for his planning period. So school district, I think school district 2 in Spartanburg County. They may be like, oh, wait a minute. But hey, well, good luck finding Quadcock on your roll of teachers. Oh, God, Mr. and Mrs. Sosa, Quadcock. We're looking for a Quadcock. Is that a German name?
Looking for Amanda Hugginkiss.
Yeah. Amanda Hugginkiss. What's the overall consensus with our linebacker situation with Pup coming in and Cabo returning? How do we take the next step at a big position of weakness? Stone Blanton's got to get a little faster, more comfortable. Debo Williams sort of is what he is. He's kind of a role player right now. Will he take that next step? I don't know. I think there are certain parts of his game that are really good and certain parts that are not. And so, the question for me is that the will position, because you got, if Kaba comes back, he's your Mike. And then Stone's behind him, most likely. Pup could end up being the starter at will. I do think Dallas, they're going to get a guy out of the portal or two that's probably playing in a bowl right now. So Krager's never seen It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th Street. I stink on ice.
That's all right.
Vince Guaraldi Trio, Peanuts Christmas is the greatest Christmas album of all time, and I'll fight anyone who disagrees, Saunders says. I disagree, Saunders.
Peanuts Christmas.
Nothing beats the Neil Diamond Christmas album. For my money, when Neil Diamond sings Little Drummer Boy, there's nothing better. And it's funny because Neil Diamond is Jewish.
Right.
Yeah. It's not he's like, so you found me, pa-rumpa pum pum, me and my drum. Oh, I send a gift to you, pa-rumpa pum pum, rumpa pum pum. That's my Neil Diamond I can do it at karaoke pretty
It's not bad.
salty.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a salty Neil Diamond singer at karaoke.
Indeed.
Coming to America today. I'm not supposed to say America. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to say. John says, went to Costco in a bad mood. Recipe for getting pulled out of there by the cops. That place makes you nuts on a good day. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Costco's and Dave & Buster's. Then you have a great recruiting pitch. Yeah, the Syracuse fans were like, I almost felt sorry for the dude. Hey, reason number 2 to come to Syracuse, Dave & Buster's.
If Furman could use that up here to get him to come.
Yeah,
Costco and Dave & Buster's, they're in the same damn parking lot here in Greenville.
No doubt. You want to talk about that shopping center in Greenville, where the old Greenville Mall used to be. You want to talk about something that's nut job. It's nut job enough as it is because the movie theater's there, the Dave & Buster's is there, and it's packed enough. But then on the other end, you have the Costco.
There's a Costco. Hell, they got it's a Bass Pro Shops out there, isn't that what it is? No, it's the other one, Cabela's.
Cabela's.
Yeah, same shop. I don't go down that Woodruff Road. No, never.
Wow.
Christmas or not, I hate that road.
Yeah, no, nobody needs to ever go on Woodruff Road, unless you're going to the Twin Peaks across there where they have the really cold beer. And, you make your Uber driver take you there. Anyway, Krager did not find his wallet. Connor says Central Arkansas just got a commit from a guy named Dude Person.
Nice. What a name, Dude Person.
JBK, bigger news. Pup is going to come in and play. I think he's good enough, big enough to do it.
He's athletic too, man. I'm excited that he's on board. I love it.
Saunders says, I'll see you at Rush's on Garner's Ferry. JC, for those that don't know, the Rushes at Garner's Ferry is where people on Big Spur go to fight. But anyway, Eric says, my boy Eric Folk, he's always drinking and listening to the show. Someone mentioned cold beer. hadn't said peep all chat box. Had someone mentioned cold beer?
Eric's like the dude on the couch in How High or in Half Baked.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting over there always, sipping on a beer. Yeah.
Happy Eric says Die Hard's the best Christmas movie of all time. We've had that debate here. I think
would like a word.
Gremlins would like, oh God. All right, so Brian's got a question. How do you see us meeting our linebacker needs this cycle, considering we played so poorly at that position this season? Who are we shooting for? Well, you got Pup Howard. There'll be a portal guy I think they'll go after. It's Cameron Robinson. I still think Florida State's probably the team to beat, but you probably could end up with him. Donovan Westmoreland will be back. Stone Blanton will be back. Mo Cobb will be back. Debo Williams will be back. Keep in mind you only play 2 at a time. But I think that the big impact guy, the guy they'll pair with Mo, if it's not Pup Howard, and I can't imagine they're relying on a freshman to come in and start. I think you'll see them hit the portal for 1 or 2 that are in bowls right now that they just haven't hit the portal yet because they're playing out the string with their team. But it is going to be addressed. Don't get me wrong. And the linebackers down the stretch, I mean, they had some awful games. Florida comes to mind. But, Clemson and Tennessee both, I thought they played okay. I thought against Clemson, they were kind of out of whack early, big time. And then they kind of stiffened. So there you go. John says I may be listening
for the
to
defense all year, though,
Yeah.
The one side of the ball that made decent adjustments all year long.
Yeah, no doubt. They made adjustments. John says I may be listening to the offense, not so much. I maybe listen to this pod too much, but I've begun giving you roles when you do your true voices. Your Southern ladies are JC's Nana and Phil's Nana. Okay, that sounds good, sweetheart.
All righty.
And beef sandwich guy is Ziggy Sabatka. My name's Ziggy Sabatka. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Then I have a Maxwell Street Polish, 2 beef sandwiches, and a swift kick of the nads. How about that? Go Bears. Give me an old style. Eric, pop me up in an old style. Carolina Titans says UGA says should have some good linebackers in the portal after they win the national championship. I mean, just like Bama with all that talent looking for play time elsewhere. John says from The Wire. I've never watched The Wire. My buddy told me 10 years ago to watch it. Never have. Need to do it. Eric says, would Carolina still finish top 15 in recruiting this year? It looks like it. So much of that, Eric, though, depends on like what other teams do. And then final rankings. Like a lot of these guys, like Pup Howard's going to an all-star game. Trevon Ball's going to an all-star game. Who else is going to an all-star game? Marquis Anderson's going to an all-star game. So there's those guys, their ratings will change, and everybody else's ratings for their commits will change. So it's kind of hard to predict. But I think Carolina's tracking to do that. They get Big Tree back and have a couple other come their way. Lance is like, beer, please now. Beer and holidays are a match made in heaven. Absolutely. Clarence says, are things trending for Rattler to return? I'm leaning that way. Everybody panicked about his comments. And I agree when you listen to his comments, there's a sense of finality to what he's saying.
A little bit. I was a little concerned, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let this be. I'm just, not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
Not going to worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, but there's other signs that he is coming back.
Right.
So maybe there's an element of surprise or something. I don't know. James says, I'm never on the live chat because I'm usually at work. But hey, guys, it's James Lee from 843 from TBS. Woohoo! Welcome.
What's up?
What changed with the Big Tree situation for him to be back to us? Sorry if I already asked. He never was leaning to Maryland. I think he decommitted, and people assume that. And Maryland probably thought they were getting him. But Carolina's approach was always like, all right, we need to find out why he decommitted, and we think we can smooth it over with the family and stuff, and everything will be good. So I am the late Stone. Says, how are we with the Oklahoma State running back? Tape looks great. I don't know yet. I don't know. Clarence, is McLeod still signing with us? I know there was a lot of noise for him going to UF. Man, I want to just apologize for Xavier McLeod and the way he kind of poisons the fan base with his social media posts. The kid committed right after he visited Georgia for the national championship celebration. And everybody were, he's going to go to Georgia. He's going to go here. One of our resident know-it-alls on the message board, one of the quote-unquote gurus was talking to, this guy's kind of funny because whenever he ventures into like scoop territory, it gets dicey. Knows football, but doesn't know much. Well, he's going to go to Georgia or Alabama. Well, Georgia had dropped him. And I knew that he committed to Carolina right after visiting Athens for the Dog Fest, right? The national title celebration. If you have any desire to go to Georgia at all, you're not going to go there for that day and then come back and commit to Carolina. And so as time has moved forward, Xavier McLeod has continued to stoke the embers on social media, continue to do this. And it's good that he started playing again because he actually won Mr. Football, which – I don't know who votes for that, and I'm not saying Xavier's not a Mr. Football. Now that's a little more sellers, to be honest. But, I think he still enjoys the recruiting game and getting people riled up. So I'm not worried about Xavier. I wouldn't be worried about Xavier McLeod at all. Now, you guys he may flip tomorrow, and you guys look at this and you're like, you're an idiot. But I'll take my medicine on that. 76 says, I want a double cheeseburger basket, no coleslaw, extra fries, and a large sweet tea. James says, fisticuffs, fried chicken, and milkshakes. Only at the Garner's Ferry Restaurant. Matt goes, the $2.99 chicken bake is wildly underrated at Costco. Dallas says, feels like Pickens helped a lot with making them look a lot better than they aren't. I don't know. I think it's average, below average, wasn't horrible, Quad says, what do you think about Rattler's comments about the opt-outs and transfers? I think he's being a leader on the team, and honest to goodness, I wasn't confident if Carolina went to a bowl this year that Spencer Rattler would play. He's a quarterback. I mean, that happens. Brian checks in, morning fellas. John says literally laughing out loud at the Ziggy Zabaka monologue. Trevor says, as soon as I started this up, y'all were talking about Woodruff Road was just on there. It sucks. Oh, man.
Sorry, Trevor.
Joey G says, could go for a cold logins and some good news. Joey, you got to get some good news, man. It's good news right now. And as recruiting, things can change. But be happy. Be happy.
Things are going well. Hey, I tried the ice cream too, Joey. It was pretty good. I still prefer the actual Christmas tree cake to the ice cream itself, but they did okay.
Yeah. So 76 JC gonna need some of that good news. Ha ha ha. Where's my news money, man? So Marion, hope Mario turns out. Mario's the transfer running back from Newberry College. It turns out like another great that came out of Stratford, Harold Green. Forgot about old Harold Green. 1980s. He was Todd Ellis's running back for a couple of years. Good player. Stuck around the NFL for a while. Remember they had Harold Green and Mike Dingle at one time. That was a good 1-2 punch. So Dallas asked, as long as do most of his work out of the shotgun, I've pretty much given up on the dream of going I formation and single back under center. Just want to see us go downhill more, though, where we can. I don't know a whole lot about his run game, other than bits and pieces, but I can't imagine they're not going to be heavy shotgun. And I think it's Notre Dame. You're going to see it's going to be just like the last two. I mean, why change that right now? So
we keep hearing that he's going to be real active with the quarterback run game. So you figure it's going to happen out of shotgun more than it doesn't.
Krager says players are speaking with the media today. Happy says Mario is a winner. He'll be great as a Gamecock. Wish we had 85 Marios. Super Marios. Luigi's. All right. Time for a break. Second break. First hour. More of the award-winning Nana Sports chat box as we're all caught up. We're going to get into some mailbag stuff, some other topical stuff as we roll on the night before National Signing Period starts. Right here on the show. Hey, man, are you sick and tired of your business computer guy?
Yes, he takes forever to call me back and doesn't always respond to the requests.
Yeah, same here. I'm paying him good money. I constantly have issues, and I'm worried he's not backing up my network and securing it properly.
You know what, Phil? Let's ask Stone Blanton.
Hey, JC and Phil, if you want a solution to your IT problems, give Heritage Digital a call. Our boy Matt Odom has a low-cost, one-price solution that will get you running right. Call 843-699-1001 or heritagedigital.com and ask for Matt. He will hook you up today and tell them Stone sent you.
If you're looking to sell or buy multifamily property right here in South Carolina, the Burgesson team of RE/MAX at the Lake can help you get to closing fast and easy. Adam and Derek Burgesson both are very proud Gamecocks and are more than happy to assist you with any of your commercial real estate needs all across the state. You can email Adam at aburgesson@remax.net. That's ABERGESON at remax.net to get your next deal underway. The Burgesson team, proud sponsors of Inside the Gamecocks.
Family vacations, a new car, a new boat, all cost money, but you don't necessarily have to make more to afford any of that if you can save cash that's flying out the window now. iHelp Consulting can help you finally get the kids to Disney World, upgrade the minivan, or drop that new boat in the water next summer. Let Daniel and iHelp Consulting consult with you. No fees, just savings. You pay them a percentage of those savings. Save on essential services, credit card fees, you name it, let them find it. These folks are incredible. iHelpConsulting.com. How can I help you?
This is freshman All-American Nicky Memorial of the Carolina Gamecocks, and you're listening to The Show with JC and Phil.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. The show is presented to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call, 803-446-4662, to set up a free consultation about an outdoor retreat, as well as the first hour being brought to you by Cindy Searfoss and the Coldwell Banker Realty team up in Spartanburg. Give Cindy a call for your upstate residential real estate needs, 864-414-5271. And I like the music on the end of that little intro there, JC. That's nice.
Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job of that. I got a lot of other ones, so that's pretty chill, I think. So anyway, shoot. All right. Keyshawn Brunson, thoughts on Nicholas Harbor? We'll just have to wait and see. I think the Gamecocks are still in it. I don't admittedly feel as confident as I once did. But we'll just have to see. I still think they're right there. Daniel says, make Debo a fullback. I mean, that's not a bad idea. It's not a crazy idea, right? But you need him at linebacker for depth, I think.
Yeah.
Joey says, are you guys doing regular show tomorrow? Anything special for signing day? Just regular show, but it'll be signing day intensive.
Yeah. Update as things go.
Yeah. And I guess our chat boxers saw the Nick Immanware thing there. Lance says, Big Nick energy.
Big Nick energy.
Woo.
Yeah. Thanks to Nick for doing that for us.
Derek says, I'll pad up. JC, I'll pad up. All right. So, So look. So, and I saw the article that Brian Doan had about the receiver from Rock Hill. I guess he's going to wait until signing day or the next signing day, signed in February. I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into it right now. I need to really get with some of my contacts and ask. You guys probably, I saw on the message board, you guys probably agree like I do that if you're going to miss with an in-state guy. But I'm just I'm not sure what Carolina's plan is there. I know they like Tyshawn Russell quite a bit, better than Carmelo Taylor, who they lost to Penn State.
Yeah, I read that. Was that? I don't know. It was an article on the Big Spur though, but they preferred him over Carmelo Taylor.
Yeah. Bakari Swain, who everybody was worried about, who could end up at receiver, told Hale he was like, it's probably going to sign with South Carolina. Colorado's kind of far. South Carolina's not as far. South Carolina's a 3-hour drive. Colorado's a 17-hour drive.
I saw that. Yeah, I was like, well, that's my mentality because I'm all up for a road trip anytime. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, and then he's talking about Colorado. He's like, it's kind of cold, super cold. But he was happy to meet Deion Sanders. So, some of these kids, and I think the national media, it's kind of funny. Do you think if it's kind of funny how some coaches are kind of protected and others aren't. If Shane Beamer had walked into South Carolina and immediately pulled the scholarships of all of Will Muschamp's commits, which I'm glad he didn't because Marcellus Dowell and Juju McDowell were in that group.
Right,
what kind of crap he would take, but because Deion's the celebrity that they're kind of afraid of and he's real open about a lot of things, they don't criticize him that much. Oh, that's just recruiting. Yeah, I'm like, God, yeah, you people are apply the same rules for everybody, right?
Right.
But and I'm not a Deion Sanders hater. I think it's great he's coaching Colorado. I think he'll be successful there because I think he's got a really good staff, and I think that he'll get out there and get players. But will he turn them back into the Colorado of the '80s? Probably not. Now, probably it'll be something a lot like Gary Barnett's tenure at Colorado was. Good, but not the level of Bill McCartney era, in my opinion, if he sticks with it that long. Because,
Well, that's my thought is that, this is a short run there in Colorado. Yeah. Then he's looking for the next big thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Jan says, we need some more Christmas singing, JC. Let Phil talk and you sing in the background. LOL. By the way, Jan, I got those parking passes for Jacksonville. I've been meaning to text you. I've just been covered up with lots of stuff. GC fan says, JC, have you ever run into Juicy Smollett, as Dave Chappelle calls him, in Chicago? No. No, he's in jail, isn't he? Or banished or from the kingdom or something? I don't know. That was a terrible situation, wasn't it? Will says Deion will be fine as long as he doesn't face teams from the Carolinas.
That's right.
Yeah, no doubt. It's
somebody in the Pac-12 needs to hire Buddy Pugh.
Yeah. Kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. But yeah, so Vakari Swain's going to stick. He's another 4-star guy, Phil, from Carrollton, Georgia. A guy that was not 4 stars that moves up in the rankings. By the way, Montague Rames is a 4-star now for 24/7 Sports Composite. So is Jaylon Kilgore. So is
that Rames is overdue. They should have done that months ago.
Yeah. So is our boy, what's his name? Our guy, Lenore Sellers,
mm-hmm.
In the quarterback. He is now a 4-star prospect. So lots of 4 stars the Gamecocks could end up signing. And I think, and I said this, and I stand by it. I believe that South Carolina, the key for them this year in recruiting, because I think last year's class was pretty good. People were freaking out because it wasn't the team ranking. I mean, people melted down on signing day over it. And the only thing was they lost Jayshon Barham. And so with the algorithm, that one player dropped him down 4 spots. This is kind of how it's designed, because you're splitting hairs. Nobody paid any attention to the portal class, nothing like that. It's like what's the movie called? Tommy Boy, where the guy's sitting there talking about the guarantee on the box and how it comforts you and stuff. That's like the team rankings and the fan base last year. It's sitting there comforting me. It's calling to me. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Look at who else you got.
Yeah, right.
Spencer Rattler and Juice Wells and all these guys. So,
were the transfers factored into recruiting rankings last year, or is that new this year?
Nah, that was last year, but man, they don't do it. I mean, it only factors in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe not the right mindset. I don't know, but then they had actual transfer rankings, and Carolina was top 10 in the country. So who knows? But yeah, I mean, you look at it. I did think a big key for South Carolina would be to increase the number of blue chip, that's 4-star or higher, high school prospects it signed. That's kind of a nice next step. I think 2024, because of the way the state is set up and sort of the kids that the Gamecocks are in on early, could be even better numerically. But I thought, hey, go get. They just need to sign more blue chip guys out of high school. That's a logical next step, and they've done it. Sellers is now a 4. Jordan Knox is 6th in the state per composite. That's probably right, guys. I think, just to be honest, I'd move Clemson commit Tyler Brown up a little bit. I don't know. Grayson Loftus maybe could go up. The Jarvis Green, Clemson's running back commit, could go up. Judge Collier could go up. But anyway, I don't want to get into this whole rankings thing here right now. But look, it's Carolina. You look at the number of blue chip prospects they signed. They signed all but Monroe Freeling as far as the 4-star guys go in the state. I don't think Monroe Freeling will be at the end, when we look back on this class, the number 1 player in this class from the state. In fact, I'd be very surprised. Okay. I'll just say it. But, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys, 4 stars or higher in this recruiting class out of the high school / junior college ranks. If they did JUCOs, maybe how they used to be, Elijah Davis would probably be a 4-star JUCO. But, last year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that wasn't even known until later, when adjustments elsewhere brought Westmoreland, Sampson, and Floyd into the 4-star range. How about this? Nick Emanware was a 3.
Yeah.
DQ Smith, I think, was the lowest rated player, or the 3rd lowest rated player in the class.
Both of them freshman starters at the end.
Yeah, both of them. And Nate Atkins, solid 3-star transfer guy, But anyway.
Well, I think Lance brings up a good point. Is like this staff is restarting the trend of supreme evaluations, and I love it, just like the good old days. That was it. I mean, take a flyer on these local kids. You've seen something somebody else hasn't caught on to, and develop them into big time playmakers, which Just, that was the formula during the Spurrier era. So it worked
Yeah.
then. Why wouldn't it work now? Because
In-state.
you know what? The in-state transcends NIL and the portal. At least it seems like it. Like these homegrown kids are staying home.
They are.
So
up to
it's
this
like,
point,
up to this point, everything has been everybody staying at home, and playing for the school that they pulled for all their lives. A kid like that's it's gonna be a lot harder to take that guy away, even with a mid-level NIL deal, because the NIL deals aren't that huge. Not like people have inflated in their minds.
Not for guys, not for guys, not for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this: it's to your point, Phil. It's also a situation like Monroe Freeling lives in South Carolina and is a resident, but not a native.
Right.
I think his family's from like Oregon or something. So
yeah, because I don't think he was even really in the fold for us at that, for South Carolina at all.
No,
really.
I think he visited once. I don't think he had much interest. Probably a little more interested in Clemson, but not that interested in them either. So
yeah,
it's just one of those things when you have move-ins and stuff. Joey makes a point about Debo Williams. When he lacks in speed and athleticism, he plays his butt off, his ass off every play. Says the emotion and fire. Yeah, and that makes him great on special teams. I think against certain styles of offense, he's really good because when he diagnoses once he's able to diagnose, right, and he's got a straight shot, he's gonna get you. He's gonna knock your head in the next week. And I love that about him too. Rick says if South Carolina were to take a transfer portal for whatever reason, which one would you pick? I don't know. Devin Leary sounds good to me, but Jan said he's going to Kentucky, so. Who knows? Doug says, why didn't we offer Jarvis Green, JC? I guess we think we can do better, but I don't see us doing better at the moment. There's two parts to this. First part is I think that they will regret not offering Jarvis Green if he wasn't a guy that was just going to go to Clemson as soon as they offered anyway. But I think he's a really good back. I don't care about his 40 time or his size or measurables or whatever. I think he's got an it factor to him, like a lot of running backs do. So that's A. But B, don't knock Dontavius Braswell, who's coming in as a freshman. He's one of the fastest backs in the country. And then I do think the kid from Newberry's better. So, no offense to those two guys, Mario Anderson Jr. from Newberry, plus Mario's got experience. But, I think they could regret the Jarvis Green thing. I think a lot of teams will. I think he's a good player. I think it's a heck of a get by Clemson. I know you don't want me to say that, but Clemson probably needs to get back to taking some of these guys like they took this year from within the state. Krager says Debo picks the wrong gap a good bit. Love that kid, though. Yeah, that's what I meant by diagnosed. If you can diagnose it correctly, you can get there, but he doesn't always do that. Gamecock fans, update on Trey Knox. Last I heard, it's looking good. I know Keith kind of was not as confident. Oh, he's going to have a lot of options, so I don't know, but I still hear the Gamecocks are having good. Doing good. Love ready in Jacksonville. You may Grace McCall. For those that don't know, Grayson McCall is the Coastal Carolina quarterback that is in the portal. I think that kid's going to go to Auburn. Maybe.
Really?
I think he's going to go to Auburn. I think he's a
Any
good fit
connection
for what
there, or just I agree
he's
there.
a good fit for what they do. Florida obviously now is heavily in the market for a quarterback. Heavily
in the market for a lot of positions down there. Old Sunbelt Billy.
Matt says Braswell and Anderson are both better than Green. Quadcock says historically the Gamecocks have been a better program with homegrown guys. Beamer's trending up, Dabo's trending down. Carolina's becoming the more popular place for South Carolina kids. Yeah, and part of that reason is Clemson abandoned the state while they were rolling. And Carolina actually kept, Xavier Thomas was the one big one that everybody remembers, right? So I don't know. I think that Xavier Thomas and then those two receivers, Antonio Williams and the other one, and Randall went their way. But, for in-state kids, South Carolina still takes a lot more than Clemson, and they should. Carolina Lucas says, with all due respect, Green runs like he's stuck in 6 inches of mud. Braswell's by far the better player. I don't know. I just think he's natural. I mean, right now, I'd rank Braswell higher as a prospect because of the speed, but there's just something natural about Green. Krager says McCall will go to Florida. Gamecock fan says, any good news on Tree? Yes. How many people are stuck in the nosebleeds at the Gator Bowl? Section 404, row Z.
Z, jeez.
Well, Z is either like, I don't know. Z is like, there could be like a double A though after Z.
That's true. They could go to double
26
letters.
rows. So maybe they're there. Napier's new nickname is Cajun Willie Taggart. Cracks me. Courtney says, yo, JC, what do you think the chances are that Billy Donovan could possibly return to the SEC as Vanderbilt coach? How are the Bulls doing right now? So that would be my thing. All right. Excuse me. I was trying to hold that. I was hoping Phil would read my mind and hit let's go to break. All right, so let's go to break. Sorry about my sneeze, folks.
You're good. I was looking at a different screen. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Rick says for the 400s go up to like JJ. So you're kind of you're lower, Joseph. You're lower, a little bit lower. So we'll see. All right. So we're 3 minutes off from the top of the hour break. Back after this, more interaction, more conversation. Going to dig into this recruiting class a little bit more for 2023 as we're on the evening before signing day. Also answering your questions about recruiting right here on the show.
Just as your State Farm agent combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home, auto, life, or small business insurance with Tony Pope State Farm Insurance today. And guess what you'll get? That's right, even more good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. In fact, Tony Pope State Farm is your go-to agent anywhere in South Carolina, North Carolina, or Georgia for the service you deserve at the price you want. So try combining your home, life, auto, and or small business insurance today. Tony Pope State Farm has been in business for more than 30 years and can handle anything you need in the tri-state area. Once again, Tony Pope State Farm will help you mix and match perfectly. Call 843-851-2222 or visit TonyPope.com today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Whoop, whoop, easy. He's got a tiger by the tail, he has.
He better hang on too.
People have spoken. Nana's Porch was voted the 3rd best food truck or trailer by the Charlotte newspaper Public Poll. Also, their pimento cheese took 3rd in a contest exclusively for products made in the state of North Carolina. I will let Noah Hall tell you about the rest. Nana's Porch, Southern cuisine with an uptown twist. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina and are in need of residential real estate services, Cindy Bass Searfoss of Caldwell Banker Kane is for you. Ask her about the village at Creekside, all of her listings in my hometown of Spartanburg, South Carolina, right there on Daniel Morgan Avenue, married to a lifelong Gamecock fan. And many of our listeners have already bought homes from her and been 100% satisfied with the detail and care she uses. Cindy Searfoss, 864-414-5271, Caldwell Banker Kane in the upstate for your real estate needs.
This is Braylon Wimmer, South Carolina Gamecock Baseball, and you are listening to Inside the Gamecocks, the show with JC and Phil. Go Cox!
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. The show is presented to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call, 803-446-4662, to set up a time to talk about an outdoor retreat or perhaps even a porch enclosure from Express Sunrooms. And the second hour of the show is brought to you by the Burgesson team at RE/MAX at the Lake. Give Adam or Derek a call or shoot them an email at aburgesson, that's ABERGESON, at remax.net. to talk about your investment or commercial real estate needs.
All right. Welcome back to the show, Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Just had a package delivered from Sticker Mule. The Mule has, I don't know. I don't know what got delivered. I got the posters yesterday. Anyway, Carolina Rise stuff, folks. It's overwhelming me from the Mule.
It's keeping you busy.
Keeping me very busy. National Signing Day tomorrow. Rick has some things to say. Rick lives for those that don't know, Rick lives in Jacksonville. He says the stadium's really nice. Not the best in the NFL by any stretch, but it's really nice. And the 400s go up to like JJJ. Zach's in 411 row X. And because this came about because Joseph asked about the stadium. He's sitting near the back at Vandy, but it's so small the seats weren't ready. Yeah, they're 5A high schools in Alabama with bigger stadiums than Vandy. Yeah, my seats are actually in section 115. Now, the other part of my crew, my brother, his kids, my buddy Skipper, and whoever he's bringing with him, I got those are in the end zone toward the Notre Dame band. So, because like LCD, my friend Margot, and Nat and I are all sitting together. And then we got 8 others sitting in the end zone near the Notre Dame band. So that's going to be a pretty interesting seating arrangement. But I kind of like the sidelines. Like we're close to the field. I mean, we're kind of down toward the field. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. DJ says, any update on Harbor? Harbor's not signing this time. So you're not getting down to it with him right now. Probably don't feel as great about Harbor as I once did. Not that I ever felt great, just kind of felt like a quiet confidence. So that's the thing there. Bradley says, do you feel good about Dante Reno sticking around even if Sellers commits? Yeah, I do. He's in a different class, the 2024. Gamecock fan says Harbor's girlfriend's running track for Carolina. I hope he decides to come here. High school girlfriends are a mixed bag, as we all know. That can work for you or against you.
That's right.
Joseph says, doesn't the stadium have like a pool or something? Seems like I know that. Jan's in 214 row D. How'd you get those tickets, Jan? Is that the club level? Jan. We couldn't get club level. Oh, well.
I saw a lot of people who got their tickets through the Gamecock Club were not necessarily happy about where they're sitting.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I mean, they sold out pretty quick. But that tells me 2 things. Everybody, Gamecock fans get enraged at the Gamecock Club when things like this happen. But here's the thing. It has not happened in 22 years. Because the last bowl that was like a tough ticket was the second Outback Bowl that Lou Holtz and the Gamecocks played Ohio State in. So that's the deal there. Joseph Powell says, anyone going to the official tailgate? Now my tailgate's going to be at 717 Lafayette Street in that parking lot. Because Queasy says, careful who you give your money to when parking. Make sure you see the spot before paying. I bought parking in advance, so I'm good with there. Krager says, Jan is big money grip. You know that, JC. Yeah, I should have thought before I talked. 8JM2 says, I'm jacked about the game. Didn't buy through the Gamecock Club though. Ryan says, Rick says the pool will be up and behind JC in the end zone. Ryan says some Silver Spur donors didn't get club level tickets. Yeah, I know. The person I got it through Silver Spur did not get them. And then AJM says the school's allotted tickets are never as good as what you can get on the open market. Yeah, just kind of depending on the demand. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's we've been through all this before. It's just kind of a positive thing for the program. I think that this is even an issue, right? Because some bowl games they're like, please buy 20 tickets and donate them.
That's right.
Buy 20 tickets and donate them to charity. I think that some of those Birmingham bowls, maybe the Independence Bowls were like that. Quantrell says, what uniform combo do you think we go with, JC? I was thinking about this last night. I would Gamecocks are the home team, right? I think, Phil.
I think so.
Gamecocks are the home team. My
You can have
guess
both
is,
teams wearing home colors though, because there's not. I mean, they're not that
Yeah.
closely similar. So yeah.
unless Notre Dame went with like the dark blue.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that, especially if you were wearing black uniforms.
I think Carolina will go black helmets, garnet jerseys, garnet pants.
That's what my gut feeling says too. Seems to be.
The black helmets have been working.
Mm-hmm.
The black garnet work. It was what Georgia State, A&M, and Tennessee. I think the kids like it. It's not my favorite uniform combination. I think they look like Texas Tech. But if the kids like it and they play well, I don't care. So, Krager says in the interview with Juice that just came out, he really made it sound like he and Rattler are a package deal, whether they come back or not. I think Juice would give stronger consideration to leaving. I think Juice, what you got to look out for him with him, he may just be too high of a projection to not go. You know, to me, of all these guys, there are less questions about Juice Wells than any of them.
I think the last thing I saw, JC, in an article was that he was given a 7th round projection.
Juice?
Yeah, which seems a little low. But there's a lot of good wide receivers coming out this year. So
maybe wait a year.
Some bigger names might benefit them. I think it benefits them both to wait around a year, not just to, build up their resumes, but because of what's going into the draft this year. You look a lot better looking ahead at what you got next year.
Yeah, you definitely have to do that. Zach says, I showed up at the Eastern Illinois game last year, and there was a high school band sitting in my season ticket seats. Gotta love it when that happens.
High school band, nice.
Saunders mad at StubHub for canceling tickets after he paid and got confirmation. Didn't get the refund until last Friday. These ticket guys are a cartel. They're a little shady, right? I have a friend that sells tickets. Like, that's kind of her side business. Like, she resells tickets. And it's weird. Like, when you sell tickets, you don't get paid until after the event and stuff. And I'm like, how do you make money doing that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Quantrell says, why don't Clemson and Carolina both wear home uniforms when they play each other? I feel like that would be cool. USC and UCLA do it. Yeah, it'd kind of be cool. I don't know. I kind of like the clean black and white look they had at Death Valley. It's different. Clarence says, hopefully they can somehow convince Rucker to come back and give football another shot. Yeah, it's just going to depend on Corey Rucker. I don't. He may just be tired of playing. I mean, I think that's what happened with Trey Kenyon. I think he just said, I'm done playing. That happens. Saunders says, look at the quarterback needy teams are this, who they are in the NFL this year definitely helps us with Rattler. Krager said the list of top 15 quarterbacks I saw didn't include Rattler. Good news for us fans. Yeah. Look, guys, I feel like that Rattler, like right now, gun to my head, I think Rattler and Juice will come back. Things can always change. You have agents involved. You have all these other people involved. I'll say this about both those guys, though. They don't really make emotional decisions. They make like business decisions. And those guys, I mean, I don't want to say they're a little more mature than the other two that left, but they're much more mature than the other two that left. They're a little bit more, like they make more business oriented than maybe the other two. I think that both those guys understand that, I can go get drafted. And I think Juice is good enough, even as a 7th round pick, to make a roster and make plays. I think Spencer probably sit on the practice squad for a couple of years, getting ready and then go play or sign as a free agent. I mean, somebody's going to keep him on the roster just because of his arm talent. But if they come back next year, you could have a Bolitnikoff award winner or finalist or whatever, and somebody that could get in the Heisman race. If Rattler continues to play well, but I think that Rattler's problem was not a Rattler problem last year. I think it was I'm completely confused and out of whack with this. I've never played football like this in my life. Here's a secret: they don't play like that in the NFL either. And so he finally just when they simplified, look at what happened when he could just go play free. and all that.
Well, and Logan's, career in the NFL, albeit his record was crap on crap teams, is, that experience could be so beneficial for both of those guys.
Yeah,
as they move forward and do a year under him to help navigate the situation at the league.
And frankly, Phil, I thought that. Frankly, Phil, I think that the Loggins hire was also made with that in mind. Like I've said a couple times, there's no tomorrow anymore. You sold Rattler on learning the NFL style. I mean, the guy's coached 20 years in the league, and I think, again, I'm one that I don't understand sometimes why people can't compartmentalize as easy. I think when you look at it, you can compartmentalize it and say, well, the quarterback coaching is fundamentally different than the offensive coordinator. I think you can teach and coach and get a guy ready for the league without your offense being an NFL, not an NFL style offense, but basically run like an NFL system.
Right.
So I think that's the difference between Dowell Loggins and Marcus Satterfield. Now, I've said before, I don't know if Dowell Loggins, I've never seen him call a play in college, so I don't know about the in-game play calling. But, we'll see sort of what happens with that. But, yeah, I'm not seeing what I got from Zemule today, so who knows. I need to turn that off. I'm getting distracted. Quantrell says, yeah, for the award-winning Nana Sports chat box, by the way. Some guys just don't want to play anymore. If you can line up a good job or get a foot in coaching, I'd do that. No CTE and possibly a chance at a six-figure pay in coaching. Yeah, I agree.
Or more. I mean, top coordinators, even at the college level, make over $1 million. So,
no doubt. Dowell Loggins makes $1 million. Kevin says the Log Rat Heisman Tour. 76 says Lloyd has proven to be a little suspect, particularly after all the work we put into him to get healthy, get tons of touches, and be injured again for 1 or 2 games too long, in my opinion. Yeah, and 76 is a huge Lloyd loyalist. Love that young man. Yeah, I thought a lot of him. I don't know why he's going in the portal. It doesn't seem behind the scenes that there wasn't as much surprise as I guess there was outside, but you have a chance to have a really good year next year. Rattler and but my understanding is too, maybe he didn't feel like, the pass happy approach was beneficial to him. So maybe that's a reason he left. But I mean, I don't know. You go to someplace in the Big Ten, Michigan State, Maryland, someplace like that. I mean, they don't always just line up and run it. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Eco Priest says Juice was listed as a 7th rounder in the newest 7-round mock. I think he's clearly a 2nd rounder. What say you? Yeah. And what Phil was talking about, though, is the number of receivers coming out.
Yeah, I think that pushes him down, and then you have to look at team needs. But, yeah, talent-wise, Mr. Eco Priest, for sure. I mean, Juice has got what you need to be a superior wide receiver at the next level. Let's just hope that, that his performance over the last 2 games, wasn't enough to increase that draft grade enough to get him to go to the league, right? And we get the selfish. I know I'm being selfish here. We love you, Juice. We want you back.
You're so selfish, Phil. I can't believe that Phil Mullinax is that selfish.
I know.
Phil.
That's all right. There's NIL money, man. I know, people throw some at him to stay. I guarantee you that.
He's already gotten some.
Right.
Phil was like, I saw Phil Mullinax take a nickel out the offering plate one day.
They change up in that.
He put $1 in and he got 95 cents out. Anyway, Ed says, do you think Dak Joyner will get more playing time in the bowl game? What a great Gamecock he's been. I agree. DK Joyner is I think they're going to use him kind of just like they've been using him. Maybe a little more to try to maybe get the run game going a little bit since they're short on running backs. 76 says the Bears need some juice. Just saying, we are god awful. Yes, they are. They're got well. I mean, look, man, played the Eagles within 5. They're bad. The Bears are bad.
We played the Eagles within 5.
The Bears are bad. But some friends of mine, we're sitting up at the tavern on here. I'll show you guys the tavern in the Glen. This is my little watering hole I go to. They gave me an Under Armour pullover for being such a good customer. The loyalty card,
Yes, that's right. Frequent flyer discount.
You had 30 stamps, you get a free beer. I'm like, God, they owe me 18 beers. I'm like, anyway.
That's a lot of old style, my friend.
I'd rather drink battery acid. But anyway, so anyway, we're up there, and some buddies of mine are going to the Bears game the next day. And I'm asking them, when do you got? We're leaving here at 7 a.m. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, it's not even going to be light outside hardly by then. It's like, so you guys tailgate for that long? They're going, yeah, of course. Why not? And they're like, well, you guys, college fans don't tailgate that long, do they? They don't have big tailgates. I was like, well, since you ask.
That's right. Let me introduce you to something.
Yeah, actually, people are at the fairgrounds parking lots griping about a 7 o'clock kickoff because the dang parking lot's not open at 9 a.m.
Yeah. You had to put in a good full day's work before you go into the stadium, JC.
So, hey, Nat chimed in about the Bears, 76, thinking the exact same thing you are. And now they're having a conversation about being a Bears fan. That's amazing. All right, so we're going to take a break. Quantrell's got a good point about the transfer portal. And they continue to go through the class and, talk about some things, some players I like in the class, some players I don't. Or not players that I don't. I mean, I basically like everybody's recruits at every school because I don't think it's fair to say this guy sucks. Because most of the time when you make an opinion that strong about a recruit, he ends up starting and playing 3 years. I mean, I may say I'm not that fired up about him or he's got a ways to go. But I usually try to find a way for everybody. Everybody's got a path, right? So I'm not being a homer or soft. That's just kind of the reality of recruiting. It's like, most of these guys that sign with whatever college, somebody somewhere sees a path for them to be good, and they do have that path, although it's pretty narrow for some at times. So anyway, we'll take a break. Be back after these messages. This is Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Signing period eve. It used to be signing day eve. I'm saying signing day now. It feels awkward. It feels so awkward. I don't know.
Well, I got some thoughts on the NCAA about that anyway after we get back from this break.
All right, I can't wait. And, by the way, VJ says he loves my beanie. He says America. Don't forget, it's against the rules now at Stanford University to say America. We'll be back. Hey, man, are you sick and tired of your business computer guy?
Yes, he takes forever to call me back and doesn't always respond to the requests.
Yeah, same here. I'm paying him good money. I constantly have issues, and I'm worried he's not backing up my network and securing it properly.
Oh, I feel that, man. My head hurts, but I have a good lead on a good idea. I'm calling your boy Matthew Odom today from Heritage Digital. Heritage Digital is an IT firm that specializes in making sure your IT network runs like a dream. If you have 1 or 500 employees, it doesn't matter. They do it all for one monthly fee and have clients from South Carolina all the way to California.
Yeah, I heard that monthly fee's low too, so I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Do you have 843-699-1001 as Matt's contact number?
Yeah, man, I sure do that. Or you can go to heritagedigital.com.
Man, I hear they do a no-cost assessment. Boy, this will help me.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm getting on that and encouraging everyone else to do the same. Heritage Digital, 843-699-1001 or heritagedigital.com, a proud sponsor of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
You can't handle the truth.
Gamecock Nation, do you need a place to stay for the big game? Many hotel booking engines keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you support Inside the Gamecocks, still earn your hotel loyalty points, and you receive an email with direct confirmation from the hotel. Whether you are visiting Columbia to cheer on Carolina or hitting the road to follow the team, get in the stands with Fan Plans.
Yep, time to get back to the show. Shoot. All right, my man.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. The show is presented to you by Express Sunrooms of Columbia. Give John a call, 803-446-4662, to talk about an outdoor retreat potentially for your house or maybe enclosing a porch. And, of course, the second hour of the show is brought to you by the Burgesson team at RE/MAX at the Lake. Give Adam or Derek a call or shoot him an email at aburgesson, that's ABERGESON, at remax.net for your commercial or investment real estate needs. And JC, yeah, Quantrell and I are kind of the same mind here in that kind of desensitized to all the transfer portal news. Unless it's a quarterback, I'm just going to keep scrolling and see who they replace with. Same here, Quantrell. It's like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, because there's more out there. That's the thing. It's like it giveth and it taketh, right? But the guys that want to bail, they jump ship, and then you find somebody else. Either you get you a nice recruit, or you end up pulling somebody out of the portal. Because here you are, you've set up yourself culturally as a program, at least at this point, to where you are relevant nationally, and we are a destination university.
Absolutely, Red agrees with it.
That's right, Red.
Nat just walked in. I don't know how the hell she was in the chat box driving her car, but she just walked in the crib. She says she has skills. Kreger has a good point. When he was an ATO at Carolina, he set up his fraternity tent at 6 a.m. for a 7:30 p.m. game. I would die if I tried that now. So would I.
Yes.
That daggum 6 a.m. for a 7:30 game. I know, like, I could probably still hang if I started. Phil, what would you think? Probably noon, 1. Me and you could probably hang by 7:30, about noon or 1, as long as we ate and paced ourselves. Would be fun.
Lattes, eating water. Yeah, we can make it, man. We're not that old.
Yeah, just mix in a water. To quote the great Mike Yuba, mix in a water. I love that. Mix in a water from Mike.
Mix in a water.
JC and Phil 76 says, do we know how Samson's coming along? Very interested in him. We see that guy's being special here. He needed to get stronger. I think there's always when you get a kid from that far away and he doesn't play right away, and he had TCU offer and see how good they're doing. So there's a lot of talk about, will he transfer? I don't know that he will. I don't know that he won't. But kind of digging into it, it seems like he's pretty happy. So I don't know. Eric Folks says, where's this watering hole with cold beer?
Where are you, brother? We'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah. I think I mentioned the Twin Peaks in Greenville earlier. All the Twin Peaks have, they advertise it. It's exceptionally cold beer. Nice costumes by the ladies, too, that they wear there. VJ says, I won't be sending my son to Stanford now. I think everybody in academia is just going through a phase where I think they're bored. They've run out of knowledge to seek, so they're just making stuff up and losing their damn mind. I think it'll fix itself pretty soon. Wisner says, digging the middle edge, dude. Great message. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So, that's awesome. Joey says, Luke says he absolutely will return to Carolina next year, Luke Doty. And Leary's going to Kentucky, Devin Leary. So we'll see what the great, the Liam Cohen offense.
The great Liam Cohen offense.
Liam Cohen.
Liam.
Man, you want to talk about a Celtic battle. Liam Cohen versus Dowell Loggins.
Oh, yeah. That can't bring your shillelagh and your
bagpipes.
Bagpipes. Yeah.
Loggins and Cohen. Liam and Dowell. Aye. James says, damn it, sleeping in the big town of Pelzer. Are you talking about sleeting?
I would imagine he means sleet. Yeah, I don't know. They threatened a little bit of a wintry mix-up this way here. So
my mother's mailing address is Pelzer. So my mother could be getting some weather. So Rick says he votes for the pregnant stripper monologue as the ad lib of the year so far. God, I wish I remember what show that was on, because I need to go find it and download it and put it on my reel. There's some truth to that story.
That's great. Right. Yeah, that's
well, I mean, there is truth to it, because I've been to the top of Gainesville twice, right? And the second time, like, John Whittle gosh, it was when we first started the Big Spur, like 08-ish or something. We were all like, I was down there seeing recruits for ESPN or somebody in Atlanta, and Georgia was playing Carolina in baseball. And so I was like, and Josh Lowe was working with us. And so Josh would always go on the road with me. And I was like, well, why don't we go hang out with Whittle and go watch the baseball game, go see Whittle. Well, the baseball game got rained out, canceled, right? It wasn't even raining, but then it started raining later. So we were bored. And so I was like, well, let's go to the strip club in Gainesville. And it was one of the worst experiences those guys have ever had. I don't think they've even any of them went to a strip club after that. But that was the second time I'd been in there. The first time with the pregnant stripper was like when I worked there in Gainesville. The top of Gainesville. Quantrell says Jordan Knox from Rock Hill going to Northwestern. Was any in-state school on him? Hadn't heard anything about him. Yeah, Jordan Knox being ranked as high as he is an outlier. That's somebody's is rolling the dice. And that's fine. I respect that in recruiting rankings. I really
mean there's not a Northwestern bump?
The Northwestern bump? Yeah, because they were really awesome this year.
Yeah. Yeah,
how many FCS schools did they lose to? The whole we hate Mike Bobo, Ryan Helinski's awesome crowd came back for a little bit after Northwestern beat Nebraska.
Yeah.
You don't really hear it that much anymore, do you?
No.
Tried to tell everybody. Ryan Helinski's not very good. And it's not that he didn't have talent, he just wasn't very good. Yeah, dude, after they got back from Dublin,
it was all downhill from there. It really was.
Lost at home to Duke. Duke ended up being pretty good. Then they lost at home to Southern Illinois. Then they lost at home to Miami of Ohio. And then proceeded to go winless for the rest of the Big Ten schedule. Yeah, Minnesota spanked them. Purdue spanked them. I mean, they gave up 33 points to Iowa, which had no offense. Yeah, it was a long year in Evanston. So I guess, they're getting the Northwestern bump, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Knox is I mean, I guess there's somebody's doing some kind of projection there, but that's fine because I used to do the same thing. And I got some right. I got some wrong. I got some right, though. Quad says, Alexa says there's an 80% chance of snow in Spartanburg on Friday. Wow.
Yeah, they're pulling in some snow predictions for us here right ahead of Christmas. So it'll be fun. It's going to be cold as crap. Oh, my goodness. Not like y'all, but for us.
No doubt. That is good. Well, no, it's going to be 6 here, Phil. 6. -8's the low. 6 is the high.
Oh, Jesus. -8. We'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers, JC.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I appreciate it. We need to be bundled up. Joey G says, Javon Gwynn says he's likely to declare for the draft after the bowl game. I didn't even know he had a year left. But, yeah, they're going to have to replace some of those.
Yeah, I heard Wanham, too, was also going to declare for the
Wanham's
draft.
already out.
He's not playing.
Skipping the bowl, which kind of surprised me there, but that's fine. Contrail says JC is looking at all 23 recruits in South Carolina, and App State has half of all the recruits from the state. Is that normal, or do they usually clean up in the state? They usually do pretty well in South Carolina. App State, East Carolina, both will get really good players out of the state. Georgia State does, too. Those three kind of at the G5 level do a good job. It's kind of crazy because in our state, it used to be like the out-of-state teams you'd worry about or not worry about that did well with South Carolina kids were like Bobby Bowden's Florida State, Philip Fulmer's Tennessee, Notre Dame would come in and get guys, Georgia, of course. Now you really just worry about Georgia. Up North Carolina, when Mac Brown was there the first time, would come in and get players. Now you just worry about Georgia, and the teams that recruit South Carolina well are like NC State. They'll get guys at the Power 5 level. Rick said there's a Northwestern bump at a strip club in Peoria right now.
Saw that. That's great.
Peoria is far from here. Maybe I'll name another northern Lake Forest, where home of Kai Kroger. Stacy makes a great point. Northwestern had no wins in America.
Nope.
You were 0 for stateside.
That's North or South America.
No. Trevor says, oh, geez, get your bread and milk, everyone. I'll never understand the bread and milk thing.
Toilet paper and beer.
Toilet paper and beer, I understand completely. Bread and milk, no, sir. What are you going to do? Those don't even mix. What, do you dip the bread in the milk? What?
Just admittedly just a milk toast. Why would you do that? Why would you put that out there?
I mean, I can see eggs in bread because eggs, you make French toast, right? That's an inexpensive way to feed your family if you're freezing and snowed in.
Right.
Make a little French toast.
Kerosene and Campbell's. I mean, what do you mean?
Kerosene and Campbell's. Campbell's. I'll tell you a little story. My grandfather, my mother's dad. If you guys are ever familiar with the Sea Mist Resort in Myrtle Beach, he built that with his bare hands. And they got back from World War II or whatever, and they just opened. They had a little breakfast shop in there, right? And he had one of those guys that was like a sergeant in the Army with him or whatever, cooking with him. Like cook, the old back in the day, you had the cook, the Army cook. And they're sitting there, and then somebody comes in there and like, do you have French toast? And my grandfather looks at her and goes, ma'am, we don't serve any foreign dishes here. And the sergeant looks at him and goes, Jason, do you have eggs? He's like, yes. He's like, do you have bread? He's like, yes. Well, then you got French toast. And to this day, I think, because they sold the motel about 2 years ago, but to this day in the restaurant, last time I was there, they still have a plethora of French toast. Anyway, that's a good little story.
Nice.
76 says Spartanburg looking at the weather at high of 36, low of 13. 13, man.
Yeah, man. It's teens. Yeah, teens this weekend.
Yeah. Woo. Jerry says milk sandwiches. Chris says any shot Lloyd comes back to the city of dreams. I doubt it. I mean, look, if he want, I think they can. I don't think they take Bell back. Bell's already at FSU anyway. But I think they'd consider Marshawn if he was sorry. And they said, look, man, if you're going to come back, you need to get after it a little bit more. Quit worrying about things that, quit just go play. Everything. I mean, he's talented enough. Everything would take care of itself. Speaking of Wanham, Krager says, DJ played great in that comeback with the Vikings. Yeah, DJ Wanham's playing really well. Very good. Wilmot, that was one excellent find by Will Muschamp because there were some other defensive ends in that class they were looking at the time that they didn't take. I think one went to North Carolina, one went to Memphis. They seemed to have better film than DJ, but Muschamp was adamant. I remember talking to one of the other coaches on the staff that was actually recruiting him, and he was like, well, this is the one Will wants. And dude came in, played as a freshman. I mean, really good player. Really good player. Ashton, no problem on the PM. Trevor says, I work at Food Line, and it's always bread and milk, and it's astonishing. I don't get it. I'm like, bread and milk. Quantrell is going down memory lane. I miss the days where they delivered milk on your front porch in glass bottles. And he's like, just kidding. I wasn't even alive.
I'm like, there's no way you're that old, Quantrell. Yeah.
I was like, if Quantrell remembers that, I was like, Quantrell's got a color photograph from like 1979 as his profile picture. He's like, you ain't that old, man.
I was gonna say that is the supreme black don't crack right there. It's the only thing that could be.
Yeah, it's crazy. Eric says I'm in Western Michigan, calling for 22 inches of snow at 55 miles an hour winds. 18 here in the lovely city of Homer Glen. It's beautiful. It's depressing. I'm going to Florida though. What else sucks is I'm flying to Florida Sunday night, Christmas night. Pretty good night. Like actual Christmas is not as bad to fly, but here's going to be the problem. Last time I went to an airport, it was like a third world slice of humanity I never wanted to experience. I told Nat, I was like, I'm not flying anywhere anymore. I'll drive. And sure enough, we drove to Kentucky. We drove to Tennessee, 7, 8, 9 hours. Didn't care. Happy as a pig in poop. Right? Because that airport, that one trip to Charlotte, and I flew into Charlotte and drove down to Columbia for a meeting about Carolina Rise, just in and out, right? Both airports, Midway and Charlotte, I just wanted to kill somebody. There was no place to sit. It was just awful. And so here's what's going to happen. I was all sly, oh, we'll fly out Christmas night. It won't be as bad. So we were all sly. What's going to happen is Friday, Saturday, there are going to be all these cancellations. And people that are madder than hell sitting in the airport. They're going to have to cut off the beer spigot.
Yeah, right.
The old style.
Yeah, things will get ugly.
They'll probably run out of beer, that kind of thing. Nugget says if you don't get the bread and milk, you'll be stuck like the Simpsons, getting corn nog, wadded beef, and cream deal. Krager says he hopes his Carolina Rise magnet is on the way. Did you not get one already, Krager? I mailed you something out yesterday. Chris says beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Ben Franklin. That's funny.
Indeed.
Pork brains and milk gravy. Speaking of my mother's side of the family, they all eat that. Not I.
No, I've never tried the pork brains, JC.
Dad's side of the family is like mostly German, so it's like meat and potatoes, and that's it. I'll go with that side. Anyway, all right, final break right now, and then we'll be back to wrap it up on a Tuesday. Don't forget tomorrow's signing day. We'll talk with each other and with you guys first half. Jamie Bradford coming on for his normal segment too. Just a normal show. It's going to be busy, but we'll definitely get in here and probably have some news for you during the show. Also, Lenore Sellers, I guess, is going on Friday, and he will be announcing actually during the show. It'll be cool to kind of have a live deal with that. All right, final break. We'll be right back after these messages.
If you're looking to sell or buy multifamily property right here in South Carolina, the Burgesson team of RE/MAX at the Lake can help you get to closing fast and easy. Adam and Derek Burgesson both are very proud Gamecocks and are more than happy to assist you with any of your commercial real estate needs all across the state. You can email Adam at aburgesson@remax.net. That's ABERGESON at remax.net to get your next deal underway. The Burgesson team, proud sponsors of Inside the Gamecocks.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's up, Gamecock fans? This is Pitcher Noah Hall. If you want some delicious food for your event, I suggest visiting nanasporch.com today to find out what they all have to offer. It's really good Southern cuisine based out of Charlotte, my hometown. I hope you guys go check it out. Go Cox and go Nanas.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Powers.
Sometime in the near future, there's a good chance I'll move back to my home area of the upstate of South Carolina. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's nobody I would use to help me find a new home except Cindy Bass Searfoss of Caldwell Banker Kane, located in my hometown of Spartanburg, Daniel Morgan Avenue, married to a diehard Gamecock. 864-414-5271. Give Cindy a call. 864-414-5271. A proud sponsor of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
Family vacations, a new car, a new boat, all cost money, but you don't necessarily have to make more to afford any of that if you can save cash that's flying out the window now. iHelp Consulting can help you finally get the kids to Disney World, upgrade the minivan, or drop that new boat in the water next summer. Let Daniel and iHelp Consulting consult with you. No fees, just savings. You pay them a percentage of those savings. Save on essential services, credit card fees, you name it, let them find it. These folks are incredible. iHelpConsulting.com. How can I help you?
Hey, Mo Cowboy here from the Carolina Gamecocks. You're listening to Inside the Gamecocks, the show with JC and Phil.
Welcome back. Final segment of the show, everybody. Inside the Gamecocks, the show is brought to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a shout, 803-446-4662. Set up a free consultation to talk about a potential outdoor retreat for your backyard or an enclosed porch. Not to mention that he said he would extend a $500 discount on your next project by mentioning that you heard it here on the show. Second hour of the show is brought to you by the Burgesson team at RE/MAX at the Lake. Give Adam or Derek a call or shoot them an email at aburgesson, that's ABERGESON, at RE/MAX for your commercial real estate needs. And as we're seeing in the award-winning Nana Sports chat box, Shane Beamer did just tweet out a welcome home, class of 23. It's got a gif of Dylan Thompson celebrating something nice. Maybe that would imply that it's a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Shane is rolling right now, just like he was last year in the offseason. We definitely have an adept recruiter in this organization that we all love.
The summer of Shane, as Keith calls it.
Right.
I can't wait to get to the summer this time. But yeah, I mean, they're going to finish it off pretty good. Before you guys ask, I don't know who it is. So anyway, M.A. Dare says, I see DQ is trending towards low 7th rounder. With that low a draft prediction, could you see him coming back to raise his stock? Who is DQ?
DQ? Maybe he means Wells.
Juice?
Must be.
Yeah, I could see him coming back, definitely. Another welcome home. Trevor says, I went to Mr. Knickerbocker this morning. Well, there's your problem, Trevor.
Well, Trevor, Woodruff Road and Knickerbocker, is this just some sort of like gauntlet to build your mental edge? Is that what you're doing? Oh my goodness.
I went, So my ex-girlfriend in Greenville was you hear her, by the way, you hear her, we're still friends, amicable parting of ways. But she, you hear her voice on this podcast sometimes. She's in radio, but so I was doing some day drinking one day, and she comes and picks me up. And it's like, "Can anyone come help go Christmas shopping?" And I was like, "For my kids," and I was like, "All right." And they're all Clemson people, right? So I'll go into Mr. Knickerbocker. It's the closest I've come into. And look, guys, I don't really wear anything on my sleeve when I go out in public because kind of the position I'm at. I don't talk smack to Clemson fans. I don't acknowledge them. I'm always polite to them, just because you're never going to win a battle. And in some cases, in some things that I've done in my life, in my career, money's green. It's not orange or garnet and black. So you don't want to piss too many people off. So this guy comes in, and I was like, it was right after the 56-35 game where Jake threw. And, somehow he just like starts, and I guess he picks up. I'm like, I thought Carolina played okay, and at least they scored on offense. I said, Clemson's just really ahead of Carolina right now. Well, I've never seen such a pathetic bunch of people that claimed a dang moral victory than you guys. And then he really, he kept going. Yeah, you guys just must not have a lot of self. It got personal. You must not have any self-confidence, son. Dude, and I'd been, keep in mind, we go back to the first line of the story, I'd been day drinking, right? So I almost knocked the guy out. I had my fist balled up, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to freaking, that'll just be the headline. He's arrested for punching older Clemson. It wasn't elderly. He's probably like in his 60s. Punching 60-year-old Clemson fan at Mr. Knickerbockers. I wish I had his phone number. I'd have called him up right after the game this year going, you guys had that moral victory, right? Because if you played Cade Klubnik, you'd have won, right? Well, how about in 2018 if Carolina's defense wasn't starting like walk-on linebackers at end? Maybe they'd have won that game. We can all play this game. So anyway, there's a little story about Mr. Knickerbocker. Michael says, any news on Sam McCall? I have not heard. Carolina, I don't think is going to get involved with him. It would take some different things to happen. Quantrell asked Damore Tate from Florida State, former 5-star corner. Nah, I don't. They like, okay, now they may look at Tate. McCall, I don't know this is a fit for the program. Maybe there's something where they end up taking him for, I don't know. I mean, I just have not heard his name behind the scenes. Tate would be one maybe if he's really good, and he was a 5-star. But if maybe they would be interested in a corner like that. But Quantrell, they really like their young DBs. Like that's the reason that Tony Grimes wanted to talk a little bit to him, and he was like, "But I need to be guaranteed I'm going to start." And they were like, They're like, ha, ha, ha. Owen.
Yeah.
Craig says this welcome home. What the good news you were talking about was it, JC? It's all good news, man. I was kind of referring to the big tree in Lenore's. Good news coming. Bigger news to come, as John
Bigger news to come.
Bigger news. Jan says what they don't understand is over the last 13 years, the overall record is 7-6. True, and Dabo has lost to South Carolina more than any other school Dabo has faced as a head coach.
Yeah. That's why you don't hear ACC chants in the stands.
Yeah. Carolina doesn't have 2 national championships, though. I don't know. Shoot, maybe they'll get there someday. Trevor says, appreciate he went in there incognito. Yeah, you got to go incognito. And I think I just had like a black shirt on. I don't think I had any Gamecock stuff on. Somehow I got exposed. Maybe I was talking to somebody or something, or one of the, I don't know. No, it was just with her because we were shopping for the kids. Maybe I mentioned something about it and he overheard it, which makes it even worse. I mean, you're about to go win a second national championship. Carolina fans felt good about the offense for the first time in a while. Scored in the game for the first time in a while. And, you're a bunch of pathetic people. And I'm like, dude, who's the one that's been day drinking in here, man? Come on.
You're right. Yeah, right.
I bet he was about to go someplace cool like church. I'm walking into the Cabbage Baptist Church, Woodruff, South Pauline. Cabbage.
Pauline.
I just saw this coot in Mr. Knickerbockers, and I just told him how much Jesus hated him. Praise the Lord. Man. Russell Crowell says, is Carolina showing any interesting grounds from UNC? No. Quantrell says Lenore's maybe have the highest ceiling out of all the quarterbacks if Carolina lands it. He and Braden Davis. I tend to agree. I don't know what the future holds for Braden Davis right now. He's got a lot of maturing to do as far as getting ready, doing what it takes to play. Really good skill set though, smart guy. But I mean, I like Lenore Sellers. I mean, I think the questions I had about him as a prospect all were answered soundly this year, probably beyond my expectations. But I've always been one that kind of liked him. I just didn't know if Carolina would go on him or not. Key said that they offer Fentrell Cypress. No, I didn't do much with him. Mary says, how does Sellers compare to Anthony Richardson? Does he run that well? I don't know. That's an interesting comparison because the arm's similar. I think Lenore's is actually probably a little bit more skilled of a passer. I don't know. It's interesting. They got size, though, and all that good stuff. Ryan says, hearing Beamer's calling Maryland out tomorrow after signing day. I don't know. Quantrell says it's still wild. Sellers didn't win Mr. Football in the state. 40 touchdowns, 2 picks is insane. I don't understand that either. And Xavier McLeod won it, and I think that's a good sign for the Gamecocks and McLeod because McLeod wasn't exactly highly motivated to play early in the season. So I thought that was kind of good. But, yeah, 6'2.5", 217, that's a big guy at quarterback. Because Craig, he's going to get to be probably 225, 230. At 6'2.5", 6'3". Wow. That's going to be something. Ryan W. goes, big tree. Babalade. Big tree, Babalade. Yeah, everybody's kind of worried about it. I don't know. Never doubt Beamer and this staff. So that's the deal there. So
and you can never count out Loxley and Maryland shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Gamecock fan asked about Tanner Bailey. Now, I'll say this, that the staff loves Tanner Bailey. And Tanner Bailey, all right, so things that have just gone normal. Like, let's say Rattler was one and done. No Sellers. I mean, the staff was kind of thinking that the competition this spring would be, no additions from the portal, Tanner Bailey and Doty. Like, Tanner would probably give Luke a run for his money. So that's the deal. Matt says KJ Jefferson 6'3", 243. I can see Sellers close to that, but his arm's a lot better than KJ. I agree. Accurate. The accuracy is what I like. I mean, he is an accurate passer. Very accurate, you know. Guys, Sellers could end up being really like unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a little bit of development. Yeah. His tape is great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, imagine if he was a rising senior, right, and he'd have done that as a junior, he would be a top 10 player in the country with that tape and that size and those measurables. Everybody be talking about, you know, Ohio State and Alabama and everybody and blah, 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 blah. So, Gamecock fans just hope Tanner Bailey gets a chance to play in the bowl, only if there's a blowout. And it would be more likely if they didn't suspend that redshirt rule. So, see, now Luke can play in the bowl, Doty. They would have burned his red shirt otherwise. So that's
and he's taking the reps in practice from the reports.
Yeah, he's
Spencer and Doty are both, yeah.
So, yeah, by the way, if you guys are going to Jacksonville, Chris, Nana's Porch, and I'll probably be there for at least a little bit. Jacksonville Beach, December 29th, night before the game at Hoptinger Jacks Beach, 7 p.m. Going to have a little get-together, Big Spur, the show, whatever. And like I said, I'll be there for a little while. I don't know. I'm getting pulled in a lot of different directions, not only from people like you guys from the site and the show and stuff, but also from like my personal friends and family that night. But I'm going to make time to be there for a little bit or probably a while. And so be sure to check that out. If you're going to Jacksonville, if you want any more information about it and you didn't see it on thebigspur.com, email insidethegamecocks@gmail.com and I'll send you that. Rick says Hoptinger's a good spot right on the beach. I hope it's not cold because, man, it's freezing. Being cold on the beach stinks. I don't mind it being a little cool, but cold, no. So hopefully it's not. You know, and all that. 76 gives Drake May from North Carolina props. Sticking with his team after an SEC school offered $4 million. Good Lord. I don't know. Some of these amounts or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
$4 million really for Drake May? I mean, what do you that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see that. That might be overpaying.
Yeah, no doubt. And Matt says one more thing. Chris Green knows South Carolina high school football as well as anyone had said. Sellers may be the best South Carolina quarterback he's ever seen at that level. I agree. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say I agree. I'm going to say it's possible. It's quite possible. Anyway, for Phil Mullinax, JC Sherbert, we're going to have to sign off here on Inside the Gamecocks, the show. Don't forget, tomorrow's signing day should be a red hot info pack show. More good news, guys. I think the Gamecocks got a pretty good signing day. I don't anticipate. I may be jinxing myself here. I don't anticipate any meltdowns tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe not. Anyway, we'll have this up on podcast format this afternoon. And for all of you that joined us here today live, we appreciate you. We'll holla at you tomorrow.